Welcome to Wager Talk TV. I am Kelly Stewart, joined by Adam Trigger at Top Flight SI on Twitter and Dave Koken at Dave Koken. Dave, I'm going to start with you here. The Virginia Cavaliers, 8-point underdogs at North Carolina, total 67.5. And I'm going to be giving out a play on this game, so I'm going to leave this one up to you two. No opinions from me here. Dave, your thoughts on this ACC matchup?
Well, I think Virginia's attracted some action here. The numbers dropped a little bit from 9 to 8. And you can certainly understand why Armstrong has looked really good at QB. The Cavaliers have come out of the gate in red hot fashion. They look like a good football team. North Carolina, on the other hand, a big disappointment in that very first game. And I think that's still something that's in the minds of a lot of people as they lost at Virginia Tech. I kind of gave them a little bit of a pass on that one. I think Virginia Tech's defense matched up extremely well with North Carolina. The Hokies have a first-rate defense this year, and they ran into a buzzsaw in Blacksburg. That crowd was crazy for that game. Home field advantage, I think, is a little bit bigger, at least early on so far this season, than in most years because of the fact that nobody had fans at their games last year. And the crowds are just incredibly revved up this year. So I didn't do it at the outset, but I've started to add maybe a point right down the line for teams. Made a mistake on a game last week where I didn't give them enough of a home field advantage. It's a game that I shouldn't have played, and I ended up playing it and ended up with a loss in that game. So I'm not making that mistake again. And I think North Carolina fans are going to be revved up for this one. It's a night game down in Chapel Hill, and they should be fired up. And it could be an offensive shootout because you got two quarterbacks that are hot. Armstrong looks really good for the Cavaliers. Howell, despite the fact that he did not have a good game against Virginia Tech, is one of the nation's best quarterbacks. The more I look at this game, the more I lean to the Tar Heels. I think they're going to be able to get some stuff done against what might be a little bit of an overrated Virginia defense. I think Virginia can be had through the air. So I lean North Carolina, but I'm not going to get to the window with it. And part of the reason for that is that Virginia might be a team that I underestimated coming into the season. Maybe they're a little better than I thought they were. Tough to tell off their first two games. One was against an FCS team. The other was against a crappy Illinois squad. But you can't argue with the results so far. So I'll stay away from the game, slightly lean on my numbers to North Carolina, but that's as far as it goes.
Adam, will you be getting involved in this matchup?
I am yet, but if I do, it would actually be the other way. I'd be taking the points with Virginia here. And the reason is I do think they're pretty underrated. I think they've been underrated since last season. They're on a 7-1 against ATS run, and they've actually covered 4 straight against UNC. And this Virginia team, for the first time in a couple years, has actually looked really good early on. I know that the opponents, this is a big step up in class here, but they pounded William and Mary. They pounded Illinois. And I actually think this Virginia team could be maybe better than the rating on them at the beginning of the season. So I don't know if this is a play for me. As far as UNC is concerned, I don't think they're as bad as they were made out to be after the Virginia Tech game. But I don't think the blowout of a school they had overmatched last week has me back on the UNC bandwagon. I think they probably fall somewhere in the middle. 8 points seems like quite a bit. I'll say UNC probably gets the win, but has a hard time covering the number here.
All right. Thank you to Dave and Adam. Make sure you guys head over to our Wager Talk YouTube channel and check out all of our other videos.